Hello, this is Lolly, and I want to show you this. I showed it in, oh, I think I just shared a picture or a video, I can't remember, but this is a basket, Longaberger basket, and it says dated 1990, that I got at not a thrift store, but in like an antique store. And so it is wood. If you're not familiar with Longaberger, these are wood and this is wood, solid wood. So it's a little stronger. This one has not been taken care of that well, and it's pretty stripped. This looks to me like that someone had written something on it and then tried to sand it off. So that's not looking good, and this is just not in great shape. So I do have some Longaberger baskets, and that I would never think of doing this to, but this one I wanted to go ahead and do chalk paint on. And what I have is some chalk paint by Dixie Belle. And I got some from a friend who's carrying it. And I thought I would go ahead and use, this is Tea Rose. I'm going to use Tea Rose on the base here, and I'm going to use a different part for the wooden lid there. And then I have an image that I want to put on the lid. So I'm using a brush instead of like a sponge type brush because I want to make sure that I can really get in there and get all the crevices here. It's kind of detailed on something like this. So, and it just occurred to me I better put my paint shirt on. Hold on. Okay, I'm getting this on, and while I'm buttoning it, I want to talk some more about this. This is a real pale kind of a mauve, and I really like it. But as because of the texture and the roughness and the uneven surface of these wood slats, it's splattering as I'm going along. And it is, because I've used so much, it is kind of going onto the inside, and I'm not really going to care about that. I don't think that I'm going to be painting the inside, but we'll see. I just think this is something I want to do because I don't like the condition that this basket is in, but I do like the wooden Longaberger baskets. It's looking really cute. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this off camera, so you're not just watching me go through this procedure. I'm going to do this whole base, and then we'll revisit it and see where to go from there. Okay, so that is mostly one coat of the Tea Rose. I have a couple areas where I just kind of spruced it up and made a little, added kind of a second coat so it would not be consistent. Now this one is the pink champagne. I'm using a lighter color on the top because I want to, because I want to Mod Podge an image over here. And I know I'm using a really tiny brush on the top, so there's a reason for it. I want to be able to get around some of these areas like this. I'm still using my crummy brush. Okay, so I am going to do the rest of this wooden lid off camera, and I think, I'm not sure about the underside. I may do the underside as well. Okay, it's all painted, and let me get this out of here so that the glare is not interfering here. And you can see here by the two colors. If I'm looking just at this, it looks awfully white until I have a white background behind it. Anyway, I love it. So what I'm going to do now is take you to the Silhouette Design Studio, and we're going to look at files because what I'm thinking of is something floral. So let's go to Silhouette Design Studio. Hi, so this is the Silhouette Design Studio. I have version 4.06 if I'm not mistaken. And so I know that I have collected in my library some images from Miss Kate Cuttables. And here it is right here. And they were freebies at the time. And I'm trying to open, there we go. I like this one right here, so I'm going to click it and then right click it and copy. I'm going to open up a new mat here, right click and paste. Now this, I think, I'm looking at the colors and I love the colors here, but I'm sure the size might not be what I need. And I can rotate it by moving this around. Plus, it doesn't really matter since once it's cut, it can you know, it can be turned in any direction. Let me look and make sure. If I hit send, it should show where it's going to cut. Let me go this way. Highlight and then go to send and say to cut the edge. There we go. And it shows all the red lines is where it would be cutting. So that looks good to me. The first thing I'm going to need to do is come over here to the paper and change the paper size. Because I have to print this, I'm going to do 8.5 by 11 tab. And okay. And when you're going to print and then you want the machine to do the cutting, you need to open this tab right here. Again, it's under the page setup. Come over here, select this, and see this says registration marks style off. I want to select Cameo. Now I know that I have to print within these 3 black things, and I can't overlap the these little hash marks either. The question is size. Now I know, looking at my basket, that this is going to be a little too big, so I can grab this corner and shrink it down a little bit. And if I want, I can see if I can actually fit 2 of these on my basket, because I know I have 8 inches to work with this way. So I am going to, while it's highlighted, I can right click and say duplicate, or I can say object, replicate, fill page. Now it's only going to be able to get 2 of them in there, but I think if I play around, I might be able to fit more than that in here. I'm not sure how that would work. Let's go all the way down here, right click, duplicate. I just figured if I'm going to be printing them, I might as well, let's see if I can flip this around. I might as well see if I can fit more of them in there so that I'm using the paper right. Squeeze. And look at there. Okay, it has to be within this red line right there too. And so it is. So this looks good. I can get 3 of them in there. And then and I'm using Nina Bright White 65-pound cardstock. So under File, I'm going to select Print. I'm going to come to Preferences, and I'm going to select under Paper, Thick Plain Paper, and under Print Quality, select Best, OK. Then I make sure it's my printer, and I hit Print after I make sure there's cardstock in the in my printer. So here we are. We have it in the computer. It's pulled up, and I have my paper on here. But what I want to show you, oops, I put it on there right. I want to show you this. You see that there are kind of a corner looking marks, and there is this little square mark. The square mark needs to be in the top left corner. So I put this here, right there. I'm going to push load cut mat. There you go. Okay, now it's feeding it. I've already made sure that my blade is at the right depth as I selected on my cut file. And this is how you would take the blade out. Mine is so one of the blades that lasts longer than usual. So you change the blade depth differently on that one. Okay, sorry for being so fast. We come over here and we click send. Again, make sure it says cardstock plain. I have a cut depth. I have to reset this again. I'm changing it to 4 again. And changing my force. Now I can do a test run, and that is down at the bottom, to see if where is it? There is, right here is the test. Sorry, I got distracted. There is a test there if I wanted to do it, but I don't think I'm going to. I just think I'm going to click send. And you can see it's cutting right now. So we got interrupted, but what happened was it pulls the mat in and it reads all 3 of those corners. It pulls it in and out to find those corners, and once it does, then it can know exactly where this image is on that mat. So make sure after you've printed it that you do not move these designs anywhere on the mat at all, or it will cut in the wrong place. So this will take a little bit of time because you can see it's quite intricate getting around there, and I can already see where it's been cutting. Can you see the groove there around that leaf? And that's done. Now it's going to spit it out, and usually what I recommend is to go ahead and lift this up first to see if it's separating. See how it is? Now I know I'm good. Come over here and click unload. Okay, and let's take this over to the craft desk. This is the happy part. So here's the cutting mat. You can see it's well loved. And pull this up. Still, some of it's still a little stuck, but so far so good. Okay, so there's one of them cut out. Now, oh, I think it's so cute. I can do it as an off-center sort of thing where I just have it down in the corner, or I could do two of them. So I'm going to punch another one out and see what I think about it. Okay, now I can tell my blade is getting dull because it shouldn't take me that long to punch them out. Okay, they usually just peel right up. Oh, I think it's really adorable. And I think this time I am going to go with putting them both on there. So what I'm going to do is get me some Mod Podge. Instead of Mod Podging the lid and putting this on it, I'm going to Mod Podge this and add it to the lid. Okay. Okay, now for this one. So a little rag to catch some of the excess here. And then I'll just rinse the rag out when I'm done. Okay, folks, we're going to let that dry. The other thing I think I could do if I wanted to would be to take some of the little pieces of other flowers and kind of add them around. I think I might do that. Now, in a few areas, like I mentioned, because these are very frail and thin stems, as I was Mod Podging, the flowers kind of overlapped each other, and that's just fine. I think that gives it a nice dimension. Actually, I've looked at one more thing. I do have an extra flower here. There. Oh, it's so cute. Sorry, it goes off camera. Very cute. I am so loving this. I think that's just, it's right where I want it right now. I'm going to leave it, and in 20 minutes, I'll come back and podge the whole surface. Okay, it's been probably a good 25, 30 minutes because I was on the phone. I'm being very gentle here, trying to get around in the crevices and around there, you know. Okay, so I was very gentle with the swirling motion to make sure I got the Mod Podge in at every angle around the raised areas around the papers. And then I just kind of mopped up a little of the excess as I was going. So this will dry for another 20 minutes, and I will give it a second coat and maybe even a third, since this is the top and I want to protect it really well with all that paper on it. So I do believe I'll do 3 coats. I will consider whether to Mod Podge the inside, and the edges here probably will get Mod Podged. So that's probably all I'll show on the video. There is an option too. You could add other things to the top. You can add buttons to the center of these. We may do that. Let me look at it and think about it once it's dry. I don't want to mess with it. Maybe when it's dry, some big brown buttons over there would be really cute.